Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving deep into one of America's most iconic coins, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1971. Yes, this ordinary-looking coin that many people once spent on a cup of coffee could actually turn out to be worth a small fortune today. So sit back, relax, and get ready, because this is one coin story you don't want to miss. The 1971 Washington quarter stands as a powerful symbol of American history and craftsmanship. This coin, featuring the proud profile of George Washington, represents the nation's strength, freedom, and legacy. Minted during a time of change and growth, it continues to fascinate collectors and historians alike. The 1971 quarter was struck in both Philadelphia and Denver, carrying either no mint mark or a small D under the date. On its reverse side, it showcases the magnificent bald eagle, wings spread wide, holding arrows and olive branches, symbolizing peace through strength. It's not just a coin. It's a miniature piece of American art that has stood the test of time. What makes the 1971 Washington quarter truly special is the rarity of certain varieties and minting errors that occurred during its production. While millions of quarters were minted that year, only a handful possess these unique imperfections that make collectors' hearts race. Some of the most coveted versions include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and transitional errors. Each of these anomalies tells a fascinating story of how even the most precise machinery can produce a once-in-a-lifetime mistake that transforms a simple coin into a priceless treasure. One of the most fascinating and valuable errors to look out for is the double die obverse, where Washington's profile or the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust appear slightly doubled. This effect was caused by the die striking the coin more than once, but not in perfect alignment, creating a shadow-like doubling that is easily visible under magnification. Collectors go crazy for these coins because each one is unique and no two double die quarters are exactly alike. Another incredible error that can send a coin's value soaring is a wrong planchet strike, where the quarter was mistakenly struck on a different metal blank, like a 40% silver planchet left over from previous years. Such errors are extraordinarily rare and can turn an ordinary coin into a museum-worthy artifact. Collectors also pay close attention to proof-like examples that escaped from special mint sets or were struck with polished dies. These quarters have an almost mirror-like surface that shimmers under light, and when found in pristine condition, they command top prices at auctions. The 1971 Washington quarter, when preserved without any scratches, dents, or circulation marks, becomes a true collector's dream. In the coin world, condition is everything. A flawless, uncirculated example can be the difference between a few dollars and a staggering fortune. Over the years, a few of these exceptional 1971 quarters have appeared in major auctions and private sales, shocking even the most seasoned numismatists. These coins, bearing rare minting errors and in immaculate condition, have fetched eye-popping amounts from passionate collectors who recognize their historical and artistic value. Every time one of these coins surfaces, it reignites a wave of excitement across the collecting community, reminding us that true treasures often hide in plain sight, right in our pockets or old coin jars at home. So, if you happen to come across a 1971 Washington quarter, don't overlook it. Take a close look under a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling in the text or portrait. Inspect the edges for clips or odd thickness, and notice the shine of the surface. You could be holding something truly extraordinary. These coins are not just pieces of metal, they're a part of America's story, connecting generations of collectors and dreamers who seek that one rare find that changes everything. And now comes the most exciting part of all, the value. Some of the rarest 1971 Washington quarter dollar coins with exceptional minting errors and perfect preservation have sold for as much as $98,000. That's right, $98,000 for a single quarter that once had a face value of just 25 cents. Imagine finding one of these treasures in your collection or spare change. What an incredible feeling that would be. Second rare coin, journey takes us back to the heart of American coinage history, the year 1966, to explore the incredible story of the United States of America Washington quarter dollar coin. This coin may look simple at first glance, but don't be fooled. The 1966 Washington quarter hides secrets that have stunned collectors around the world, with certain rare examples selling for absolutely jaw-dropping prices. So stay tuned. Listen carefully, and let's uncover why this quarter is one of the most exciting discoveries in U.S. coin collecting history. The Washington quarter has always been an American classic. It features the strong, noble profile of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan, capturing the spirit of leadership and courage that built the nation. The reverse proudly displays the bold American eagle, wings spread in strength, holding arrows and olive branches, a symbol of peace and power united. Every detail of this design tells a story of patriotism, craftsmanship, and history. By 1966, the United States Mint was transitioning from silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition, making coins from this era especially interesting to collectors who love pieces that mark major changes in American currency. What truly makes the 1966 Washington quarter extraordinary, however, are the rare minting errors and variations that slipped through production that year. This was a time when the mint was producing massive numbers of coins without mint marks due to policy changes during the coin shortage of the mid-1960s. As a result, certain striking errors and planchet mistakes became more likely, and that's exactly what gives some of these coins their incredible rarity and high value today. One of the most famous types of errors collectors look for is the double die strike. This occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, creating a slight but visible doubling on Washington's portrait or the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Under magnification, you can often see shadow-like outlines on the letters or the date, and that's where the magic lies. These doubled features are not only fascinating from a minting standpoint, but are also extremely desirable because they make every error coin truly one of a kind. Another spectacular type of error is when a 1966 quarter was accidentally struck on a leftover silver planchet from previous years. Although the United States Mint officially stopped using silver in quarters after 1964, a few silver planchets sometimes remained in the machinery and were mistakenly used in later years. These rare transitional error coins have a slightly different color, a distinctive ring when dropped, and a higher weight compared to the standard clad quarters. If you ever find one of these, you are holding an absolute treasure in your hands. Collectors have also identified off-center strikes and clipped planchet errors from 1966 that make certain coins especially appealing. An off-center strike happens when the blank coin is not perfectly aligned during minting, resulting in part of the design being missing or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin becomes. A clipped planchet, on the other hand, occurs when a portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a cutting error during the blanking process. These unusual features add character and uniqueness, and collectors love them because they're tangible proof of history, mistakes that slipped past the mint yet became masterpieces for those who found them. The most exciting thing about the 1966 Washington quarter is how much demand it's gaining among serious collectors. Over the years, several rare examples have surfaced at major coin auctions, turning heads and sparking bidding wars. The combination of limited errors, no mint mark, and transition period history makes this coin a true highlight of any collection. Whenever one of these rare 1966 quarters with special characteristics appears, it captures immediate attention from numismatists and investors alike, proving that even decades later, this coin continues to shine brighter than ever. If you're a collector, pay close attention to the details of your 1966 quarters. Weigh them, study them under good lighting, and look for anything unusual, a hint of doubling, a clipped edge, or an off-center strike. The tiniest detail could mean you've uncovered a hidden gem that the mint never intended to release. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling, the idea that one small discovery could lead to an extraordinary fortune. And now, for the most exciting part, the value. Some of the rarest 1966 Washington quarter dollar coins with exceptional minting errors, perfect preservation, and historical importance have sold for as much as $145,000. Yes, you heard that right. $145,000 for a single quarter that once had a face value of just 25 cents. Imagine finding that in your coin jar or change drawer. It's like discovering buried treasure in your own home. Third expensive coin. We're taking a closer look at one of the most exciting coins in modern U.S. history, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from 1982 with the D mint mark. This coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but certain rare versions of it have become the talk of the numismatic world, commanding unbelievable prices and turning ordinary pocket change into a collector's dream. So stay tuned till the end, because what you're about to discover could make you take a second look at every quarter in your collection. The 1982 D. Washington quarter carries the proud legacy of America's most enduring coin design. It features the strong and noble profile of George Washington on the obverse, a symbol of leadership, patriotism, and history. Designed by the talented John Flanagan, this portrait has stood the test of time, reminding us of the spirit of the nation itself. On the reverse, we see the mighty American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a striking image representing peace through strength. Every detail on this coin, from the bold lettering to the sharp relief of Washington's face, tells a story of precision and craftsmanship that coin collectors deeply admire. Now, what makes the 1982 D. Washington quarter truly fascinating is its connection to one of the most unusual chapters in American minting history. In 1982, the U.S. Mint made a major decision. They stopped producing mint sets for collectors due to economic factors, meaning many coins from that year were never preserved in perfect, uncirculated condition. That makes any high-grade example from 1982, especially from the Denver Mint, incredibly hard to find today. Most of these coins went straight into circulation, facing years of wear and tear, so locating one in pristine condition is a true challenge and an enormous victory for collectors. But the real excitement begins when we talk about the rare errors and varieties that make the 1982 D. Washington quarter so valuable. Some of these coins were struck with fascinating minting mistakes that have turned them into treasures worth thousands. One of the most famous and valuable types is the double die error, where certain details like Liberty, In God We Trust, or even the date appear slightly doubled. This happens when the coin die accidentally shifts during production, creating a subtle but distinct duplication that can be seen under magnification. Collectors go crazy for these coins because each one is unique, a one-of-a-kind product of a momentary slip in the minting process that can never be repeated. Another highly prized variation involves the rare transitional error, where some 1982 D quarters were mistakenly struck on the wrong planchet, possibly left over from previous issues. These coins may have a different color tone, weight, or metallic shine compared to normal quarters. In some cases, they even ring differently when dropped because of the distinct metal composition. If you ever find a 1982 D quarter that feels slightly heavier or looks shinier than the rest, don't ignore it. You could be holding something worth an astonishing amount of money. Collectors also look for missing mint mark errors or partially struck designs from the 1982 D series. Sometimes, the D mint mark was lightly punched or partially filled with grease during production, causing it to appear faint or disappear entirely. These subtle differences can dramatically increase a coin's rarity and desirability. Another feature that can raise its value is a strong strike with full, sharp details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. The crisper the design, the higher the value. Condition plays an enormous role, and coins graded mint state 65 or higher are extremely difficult to find from this year. Over the years, several of these remarkable 1982 D quarters have made headlines at coin auctions, surprising even seasoned collectors with their sky-high prices. Rare error examples in pristine condition have been sold to passionate buyers who recognize their historic and artistic importance. Whenever one of these gems appears at auction, it becomes a highlight of the event, the kind of coin that sparks bidding wars and leaves everyone in awe. This incredible demand shows that the 1982 D quarter isn't just another coin. It's a symbol of discovery, patience, and the excitement of the hunt that every collector lives for. If you're someone who loves the thrill of searching through coin rolls, Pocket change or old collections, the 1982 D Washington quarter should definitely be on your radar. Always check for signs of doubling, mint mark variations, or unusual coloration. Use a magnifying glass, weigh your coins carefully, and pay attention to the fine details, because one small difference could mean the difference between a regular quarter and a rare coin worth a fortune. That's the beauty of collecting, the mystery, the chase, and the moment of pure excitement when you realize you've found something truly special. And now, for the most thrilling part, the value. Certain rare 1982 D Washington quarter dollar coins, featuring exceptional minting errors and preserved in near-perfect condition, have reached incredible prices, selling for as much as $90,000. Yes, you heard that right, $90,000 for a single quarter that once had a face value of just 25 cents. Imagine finding that kind of treasure sitting unnoticed in your change. It's every collector's dream come true. Especially, we're diving into one of the most surprising and exciting coins of the modern era, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1997 with the P mint mark. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary quarter you'd find in your pocket, but make no mistake, this coin hides secrets that could turn your loose change into a small fortune. So grab your magnifying glass and listen closely, because what you're about to hear might just make you check every single quarter you own. The 1997 P. Washington quarter carries with it the enduring legacy of one of America's most iconic coin designs. Featuring the proud and determined face of George Washington on the obverse, it symbolizes leadership, integrity, and the founding spirit of the United States. The reverse displays the majestic bald eagle, wings outstretched, clutching arrows and olive branches, a perfect image of strength balanced with peace. Designed by John Flanagan, this design has become a timeless piece of art in American coinage history. The 1997 issue was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, as indicated by the small P beneath Washington's neck, and though millions were produced, only a few rare versions have made their way into the spotlight for their incredible and valuable errors. Now, what makes the 1997 P Washington quarter so special and highly sought after among collectors is not just its beauty, but the rare and unusual mistakes that occurred during its minting process. The late 1990s were a period of transition and technological adjustment at the U.S. Mint, and occasionally, even with all the precision and machinery involved, unexpected errors slipped through. These minting mishaps have created some of the most valuable and desirable versions of the 1997 P quarter in existence, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. One of the most famous and fascinating errors to look out for is the double die strike, which happens when the die that imprints the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a shadow or doubling effect on certain parts of the design. If you look closely at the inscriptions Liberty or In God We Trust, or even the date 1997, you might notice faint doubling that gives the letters a slightly blurred or layered appearance. This is not wear or damage, it's a minting error, and it makes the coin exceptionally rare and valuable. Collectors absolutely love double die coins because each one is unique, capturing a moment in time when the mint's machinery created something truly one of a kind. Another incredible feature that can make the 1997 P quarter valuable is an off-center strike. This occurs when the blank coin is not perfectly aligned with the dies during minting, causing the design to appear shifted or incomplete. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, the coin's value can skyrocket, especially if the date remains fully visible. These off-center quarters look unusual and instantly catch a collector's eye because they break the norm and stand out as true minting oddities. There are also known examples of 1997 P quarters struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was mistakenly minted on a metal blank intended for another denomination. These transitional or wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and often weigh slightly less or more than a standard quarter. If your 1997 P feels different in weight or color, that could be a major clue that you're holding one of these special varieties. Some were even struck on nickel planchets, giving them a slightly different tone and surface appearance. These coins are among the most valuable, with collectors competing fiercely to add them to their collections. Collectors are also drawn to proof-like examples of the 1997 P. Washington quarter coins that, while struck for circulation, display a mirror-like shine and sharp details, as if they were proofs. These coins are the result of highly polished dies or early strikes from a new die set, giving them a beautiful reflective surface that makes them stand out from regular circulation coins. When combined with perfect preservation and no scratches, these proof-like quarters can command top prices in the numismatic market. Over the years, rare 1997 P. Washington quarters have appeared in coin shows and auctions, stunning even experienced collectors with their high selling prices. The combination of rarity, minting errors, and near-perfect condition has made them some of the most talked-about modern quarters in the collecting community. Auction results have proven that these coins are not just historical keepsakes, but genuine investments, with bidders paying staggering amounts for examples that show unique errors or extraordinary quality. Every time one surfaces, it reignites the excitement and curiosity of coin enthusiasts everywhere. If you're a passionate collector or even just someone curious about coins, you should definitely check your 1997 quarters carefully. Hold them under bright light, look for doubling in the lettering or numbers, inspect the edges for misalignments, and even weigh them if possible. You never know when one of these remarkable coins might appear in your change or collection. The thrill of discovering a hidden gem, a coin worth thousands hiding in plain sight, is what keeps collectors searching and dreaming, and now comes the moment you've been waiting for: the value. Some of the rarest 1997 P. Washington quarter-dollar coins with spectacular minting errors and perfect preservation have sold for as much as $40,000. Yes, you heard that right, $40,000 for a single quarter that most people would overlook without a second thought. Just imagine finding that in your coin jar or change drawer. What an incredible discovery that would be. Next coin, we're exploring a truly incredible piece that many people overlook: the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1978. At first glance, it might seem like just another coin you could find in your change, but what if I told you that some special versions of this 1978 quarter could be worth an unbelievable amount of money? Stay tuned, because this story is going to make you want to check every single coin you own right after this video. The 1978 Washington quarter continues the proud tradition of one of America's most iconic coin designs. On the obverse side, we see the familiar and dignified portrait of George Washington, the nation's first president, designed by the talented sculptor John Flanagan. This image has graced the quarter since 1932 and remains a powerful symbol of leadership, courage, and national pride. On the reverse, we see the majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, representing peace and strength, two pillars of American history. Every line and curve on this coin tells a story of craftsmanship and pride that collectors have admired for generations. The 1978 quarter was struck during a period when the United States Mint had perfected the art of coin production. But even with advanced technology, a few remarkable minting errors managed to slip through the process. And it's those rare, unique mistakes that have turned ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. While millions of quarters were made that year, only a handful display the rare characteristics that make them so valuable today. For collectors, finding one of these special pieces is like striking gold. One of the most exciting types of errors found on the 1978 Washington quarter is the double die strike. This fascinating error occurs when the coin die shifts slightly during production, striking the design twice and creating a doubled image on the coin. If you look closely at the lettering, especially the word Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," or even the date 1978, you might notice a shadow-like doubling effect. These are the subtle details that make collectors' hearts race, because they prove that you're holding a true minting rarity. Each double die coin is unique, and no two are exactly the same, which makes them incredibly desirable in the numismatic world. Another amazing type of error that can make the 1978 quarter worth a fortune is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin is not properly centered during the minting process, resulting in a design that appears shifted or incomplete. Depending on how much of the design is missing, the value can skyrocket, especially if the date remains fully visible. These off-center quarters are instantly recognizable and command high demand because they stand out as one-of-a-kind pieces that showcase the unpredictable side of minting history. There have also been reports of 1978 Washington quarters struck on the wrong planchet. That means they were accidentally minted on a metal blank meant for another denomination, like a nickel or even a foreign coin. These rare transitional errors often have a slightly different color or weight than normal quarters, and they're considered extremely rare. If you happen to find a 1978 quarter that feels lighter or heavier than usual, or if its edge looks different, you might just be holding one of these valuable minting mistakes. Transitional errors like these are the crown jewels of coin collecting because they combine rarity, mystery, and history all in one. Collectors also look for proof-like or high-grade examples of the 1978 quarter. Coins that shine brilliantly with mirror-like surfaces and sharp, crisp details. These coins are often early strikes from freshly polished dies, and when found in pristine, uncirculated condition, they can command impressive prices. The 1978 quarter may not be made of silver, but its quality and detail make it a standout among modern coins, especially when it's perfectly preserved. Every nick, scratch, or smudge affects its value, so those that have remained flawless over the decades are highly sought after. Over the years, these rare and remarkable 1978 Washington quarters have made waves in coin auctions, sometimes shocking even experienced collectors with their selling prices. The demand for error coins and near-perfect specimens from the 1970s has been rising steadily as more collectors recognize their historical significance and artistic beauty. Auction houses and private collectors have paid staggering sums for the finest examples, proving that this coin is far from ordinary. It's a true hidden treasure waiting to be discovered by those who know what to look for. If you have a 1978 quarter, take a close look at it today. Examine it carefully under good lighting, check for doubling in the letters or numbers, look for any signs of off-center designs, or feel for differences in weight and texture. The smallest details can make the biggest difference when it comes to coin value. You might be holding a piece of American history that could change your life. That's what makes coin collecting so thrilling. Every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. And now for the most exciting part of all, the value. Some of the rarest 1978 United States of America Washington quarter dollar coins, especially those with remarkable minting errors or preserved in flawless, uncirculated condition, have sold for as much as $50,000. Yes, you heard that right, $50,000 for a single quarter that many people might overlook without a second thought. Imagine the excitement of discovering that kind of treasure sitting unnoticed in your coin jar or old collection. It's the stuff of dreams for every collector. So, my fellow treasure hunters and coin enthusiasts, never underestimate the power of the smallest details. The 1978 Washington quarter might just be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a bit of luck to uncover its true worth. If you found a 1978 quarter or believe you've discovered a rare minting error, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your amazing find. Last unique coin. We're diving into one of the most exciting discoveries in the world of modern coinage, the United States of America Washington quarter dollar from the year 1985 with the P mint mark. This coin might look just like any other quarter in your pocket change, but don't be fooled. Some special versions of the 1985 P Washington quarter have shocked the collecting world with their incredible rarity and astonishing value. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and listen carefully, because what you're about to learn could turn an ordinary-looking coin into a small fortune. The 1985 P Washington quarter is a beautiful piece of American history that continues the legacy of one of the most iconic designs ever made. On the front, it proudly displays the noble profile of George Washington, the nation's first president, facing left with the word liberty above and in God we trust to the side. The date 1985 sits below, along with the small but important P mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. On the reverse side, you'll find the majestic American bald eagle, wings spread wide, holding arrows and olive branches, a perfect symbol of strength, freedom, and peace. This timeless design, created by John Flanagan, represents not just currency, but American pride and artistry at its finest. Now, even though millions of these coins were made for circulation, only a very small number have become legendary among collectors for one important reason: errors. Yes, rare minting errors and unique varieties from the 1985 P-Quarter have turned what was once a simple 25-cent coin into a collector's dream. These coins are not just rare, they're masterpieces born out of chance, and each one tells its own story about how something so small could go so spectacularly right in the eyes of a collector. One of the most famous and valuable varieties to look out for is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die strikes the blank planchet twice, but slightly misaligned, creating a doubled image on the letters, numbers, or even Washington's face. On a 1985 P-Quarter, you'll want to examine the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1985 very closely. Under magnification, you might see faint shadow-like doubling, and if you do, you could be holding one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. These double-die coins are incredibly hard to find, but when discovered, they're worth every bit of the excitement. Another stunning feature that collectors dream of finding is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to appear shifted or incomplete. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the coin's value, especially if the date remains fully visible. These coins are instantly eye-catching and often fetch extraordinary prices because they are genuine mint errors, not damage caused after circulation. Each off-center 1985 P-Quarter is unique, making it a true collector's gem. But that's not all. Some 1985 P Washington quarters were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was minted on a metal blank intended for another denomination. These transitional or wrong planchet errors are extremely rare and easy to overlook unless you know what to look for. A 1985 P-Quarter struck on a planchet meant for a nickel or foreign coin will have a different color tone, thickness, or weight. If your 1985 P-Quarter feels slightly off when you hold it, you might be holding a one-in-a-million piece that collectors would pay a fortune for. Transitional errors like these are among the most exciting finds in all of coin collecting. Another key detail that makes certain 1985 P-Quarters special is their condition. Most quarters from the 1980s circulated heavily, which means they show lots of wear and scratches. But the few that have survived in perfect, uncirculated condition, with full, sharp details on Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and a brilliant mint luster, are worth far more than their face value. Collectors go crazy for coins that have been preserved flawlessly over decades because they represent a piece of history frozen in time. Coins graded mint state 65 or higher by professional grading services can command impressive prices, especially when combined with any sort of minting error. Over the years, several rare 1985 P. Washington quarters with these types of mint errors have surfaced in auctions and coin shows, sending shockwaves through the collecting community. Collectors and investors alike have shown huge interest in acquiring these coins, driving prices higher and higher with each discovery. Whenever a rare 1985 P-Quarter appears, it becomes a headline in the numismatic world because it proves that, even in modern coinage, treasures are still waiting to be found. The excitement, the mystery, and the chase make this coin one of the most talked about pieces of the decade. So, if you have some quarters lying around in jars, drawers, or old collections, it's time to start checking them. Look closely for doubling, off-center designs, or unusual color tones. Weigh them carefully and inspect the details, because you never know when one of these rare coins might appear right before your eyes. The beauty of coin collecting is that incredible discoveries often come from the most unexpected places, and your next find could be life-changing. And now comes the most thrilling part, the value. Some of the rarest 1985 P United States of America Washington quarter dollar coins, featuring stunning minting errors and preserved in immaculate condition, have sold for as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard that right, $60,000 for a single quarter that most people might spend without a second thought. Just imagine finding one of these treasures in your loose change or old coin collection. It would be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So, my fellow collectors and dreamers, keep your eyes sharp and your curiosity alive. The 1985 P. Washington Quarter is living proof that rare treasures can still be found in the most ordinary places. If you've discovered a unique 1985 P quarter or think you might have a rare mint error, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear all about it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another exciting coin story. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin discovery be the one that turns your pocket change into pure gold.